Yo, what's up trainers, welcome back to a new video, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing you my 9-1 run I had in the Catch Cup. I know Catch Cup is going to be gone as soon as this video is going to come up, but still it has a very nice strategy behind it, and also it is very viable for the Open Great League because it just has meta Pokemon in it, right? As you can see, I had like more than 4 videos with over a K views. Thank you for that, but only 5% of you trainers are subscribed. I'm like, come on, hit that subscribe button, it's free. I don't even have like 500 subs. It's pathetic, that needs to go up. So, also the strategy behind this team is very simple. Basically your mud boy on the lead will make sure that if you save swap into that LICKYTUNG, you will lure out any steel type, any rock type such as a Carbink, stuff like that, that will basically counter your ALOLAN NINETALES. So LICKYTUNG is there for you to, well, lure out those Pokemon that your charge moveset basically, well, doesn't have any play against. For example, against the Carbink, Body Slam doesn't do anything, and against the Registeel or any other steel type in general, both of those Body Slam and Power Whip won't do a lot of damage as well. Where if you then come back in with your Mud Boy, you will get that KO, and then afterwards your ALOLAN NINETALES is there for you to sweep. So as I said, these are Catch Cup battles, but honestly I faced a lot of just straight meta teams with Medichamps, Gligar, stuff like that, which you will see in the Open Great League as well. QUAGSIRE obviously is going to be a very, or is a very meta Pokemon right now, very meta Pokemon as well right now. So honestly, this just gets to show that this team is very viable for the Open Great League. So without further ado, we're already in the matches. I'm going to commentate right now as we face up against the Victreebel, Shadow Victreebel I should say. They tried to make a nice play with the with some sneaky Razor Leaf damage on my Mud Boy, but we were able to react quick enough where they only got one through. Here I make sure that we are as low as we can get, throw the Body Slam, and now my opponent will get less farm, also because they acid sprayed us. This way they even get even less farm than they would already or originally get. So here we are gonna throw or we're gonna lick them, and now afterwards we're gonna swap into that ALOLAN NINETALES. Why? Because now we don't have to use a shield on our Mud Boy, but also because we can easily tank this resisted Dragon Tails. I'm just going to overfarm here, making sure that we have a nice energy lead against whatever is going to be in the back. We are Psychic Fang buffed, or debuffed I should say, so I'm going to swap out anyways. And here we will go for the Mud Bomb. Now I'm hoping that we will reach one other move, and if that's going to be the case, this game is going to be over, because now they have to react to this or with a shield, and then afterwards we can easily go for a Weather Ball and farm them all the way down, and their Steelix is basically gone. So I'm just going to overfarm a bit, go for the move here, and then yeah, I think this is going to do like 30% or something like that, where afterwards we can easily farm them all the way down, as these Powder Snow still do a decent amount of damage, and we take them out. GG's. Alrighty, next game. As I said before, you will see some very meta teams, so this team is very usable, very viable for the Open Great League, and it just has a nice strategy with the potential lure out of the steel or rock type Pokemon, Carbink, Registeel, I've said it before, and then sweep, or then come back in with that Mud Boy, sweep with Ninetales. Here, the Medichamp lead, the way I like to play this is to go for a couple of Mud Bombs, get them into a range where one Weather Ball is going to be enough to KO, preserve your Mud Boy, swap into that LICKYTUNG to lure out any steel type, and that's basically, I think, the way you should play it here. So as you can see, I'm going to say swap into my LICKYTUNG right now. Their Medichamp is basically gone, where we can now probably Powder Snow them all the way down if they decide to come back in with it. And now they reply with a Charger Bug on my save swap of the LICKYTUNG. I'm going to go for the Body Slam at the end of their fast move. Or Volt Switch, and now let's see how they're gonna play. Are they gonna throw the move? They decide to not throw. They're gonna overfarm once again, and they allow us actually to get to another move. I think this is a bit of a misplay by my opponent. They should have thrown there, probably get the knockout, but still this actually is just better for us, as now I'm just gonna come in with my ALOLAN NINETALES, get that farm down. I'm expecting them to throw instantly, which they do, so this is probably gonna be an X-Scissor, and if that's gonna be the case, we get this farm down, and we don't have to use a shield, because if I went in with that Mud Boy, we would have easily had to use a shield there, and now we don't. So now I'm just hoping that whatever's in the back, well, doesn't have a nice time down on energy. And as you can see, they're actually coming with that Medicam. So at this point, I'm just gonna use one shield, farm them all the way down. I don't care if it's gonna be an Ice Punch, which it is. They got the Gligar in the back, and this is just game. We are so far ahead on energy, where one Weather Ball is easily gonna kill a whole family of Gligars. And yeah, that's going to be a GG. Very well played. My opponent doesn't recognize this just yet, but they will recognize it in a bit. As you can see, we will reach it right now. They need a double aerial ace, and they're not gonna get there, so that's going to be a GG. Very well played. I think they closed their app here, but yeah, that's going to be a GG's. Said it, and I'm gonna skip this last part and we're gonna hop into that next game. So as I said, catching up as well. So you will see some community day Pokemon such as the Conkeldurr, which won't be that common obviously in the Open Great League, but still funny to play against. As you can see, we're gonna go for the Aqua Tail because Conkeldurr is not that tanky, so an Aqua Tail or two will be enough. Here my opponent makes a nice catch honestly, but still this is gonna help us out because now one Body Slam is going to be enough to get that knockout. So I'm just gonna reply with my LICKYTUNG obviously because it has a worse matchup against that lead Pokemon. Here I'm gonna go for the move straight away, allowing my opponent basically, or forcing my opponent to either shield to get a move off and to get my Licky lower, or to let that move go through. The switch timers aren't just up yet, so this actually, if they go for the dynamic punch, which they do, gives us an opportunity to just one shield farm them all the way down, and then I just gotta hope that whatever's in the back is just going to be weak against this ice type Pokemon. So let's see, we're just gonna, well, get this shield up, get that farm down, and they actually got a Dragonite in the back. So yeah, there wasn't a lot they could have done anyways, and now they're gonna get deleted. See you later. Get deleted. And that's going to be a GG. Very well played. Alrighty, next game. So Mandibuzz is kind of a tough Pokemon for this team. I went 9-1 in this set, so I'm gonna spoil this the game I'm gonna lose. But this Mandibuzz is not a Pokemon that is where you're completely chanceless, to be honest. The way you should play this is to go for, I think, 3 or 4 Aqua Tails, build up to a Stone Edge first, and then go for Aqua Tail spam. And get them into a range where one Weather Ball is going to be enough to get the knockout, and then afterwards you want to try to catch a Dark Pulse. If that's something you can manage to do, you're in a decent spot. Right now I went for 2 Aqua Tails because I was thinking that one Weather Ball would do a bit more, as you will see in the end game. But anyways, they reply with a Vigoroth. I'm gonna go for the Body Slam here, Body Slam spam, hoping to get another one out, and my opponent actually decides to just go for the full farm down, which is a nice play by them. Honestly, they also could have thrown at some point, but I think, or this is probably the better play, as now they leave with so much energy, and we are just, well, not in a good spot right now. I'm just gonna go for the Aqua Tail as soon as I can get there, hoping that I will outpace them to the next one, and that we will still preserve some nice HP. But they had so much energy where we are, well, we kind of have to take this damage, and then afterwards gonna go for it straight away so that counter won't register, and then afterwards I'm just gonna hard swap into that ALOLAN Ninetales, where they actually decided to shield here, which is fine because now I will get a nice energy lead and we will be even shields. So hoping that we can get the farm down because they swapped a bit later into my LICKYTUNG save swap, and as you can see they actually reply with their own Quagsire. So if they don't have Stone Edge, we still have a chance. I'm gonna go for the Nuke move just to make sure that we get a lot of damage off, and as you can see they decided not to shield, and now if we can get the full farm down here, that would be really nice because that allows us to get one Weather Ball off. But I think they will have their quick switch timer up at some point. So this play I'm gonna do right now is a very nice play, if I would say so myself. I expect them to swap here. I'm gonna go for the move, and then afterwards I'm gonna instantly switch out to catch their charge move because we are not CMP tied just yet, and I go for the move. So this was actually the best thing I could have done in this scenario. But honestly, it's just not going to cut it for us, as I'm gonna go for it straight away through there on bad timing just to make sure that we got this, because they will get to the move right now, as you can see, and it's not going to be enough to get the KO. So if I went in the start of the match for 1 extra Aqua Tail, we actually would have won this game, but unfortunately I didn't, so we take that L, and that's going to be a GG. Very well played. So we face up yet another Umbreon lead, which is a very nice or very tough lead for us, I should say. But still, we can well play this out a bit, I would say. Dark type Pokemon, especially the bulkier ones, are just very tough for this team in general. If you got it aligned to your Alolan Ninetales, obviously that's just going to be just fine. But in general, well, if that's not going to be the case, then well, you're in a tough spot and you gotta play your way around it, right? So the way I like to play this lead, it's just the same as a Medicham lead or a Manibus lead, is to get this thing low and then afterwards swap into that Licky to preserve your Mudboy, but also to lure out that Steel type or Rock type that's lurking in the back, so that your Alolan Ninetales has some potential to sweep endgame. Here I try to catch, but my opponent holds on to their energy, but they actually throw anyway, so that's fine by me. I can easily take this damage, rather on my LICKYTUNG than on that QUAGSIRE. And here they reply with a very hard counter, and this is once again shows that the LICKYTUNG save swap lures out that potential hard counter for that Alolan Ninetales in the back. So my opponent probably thinks that they're in a driver's seat right now, but honestly this just, well, frees up the way for my Alolan Ninetales probably to sweep endgame. Here I'm gonna go, or try to go, for the Power Whip, because it just does more damage, as I was thinking of only reaching one move anyways, but my opponent throws straight away. So this is, well, kind of a tough spot for us. So I'm gonna come in with that QUAGSIRE, go for the move straight away, and then hoping that we will reach yet another move, but this is probably gonna force a shield. So even though things are not looking too well, I'm gonna reach probably one more. I think I wouldn't have reached it, to be honest, but this is actually fine because my opponent decides to throw. Now we come into a matchup where both of us can, well, don't do any charge move or fast move damage, I should say. So we can easily farm up a lot of energy, hoping that whatever is in the back has a bad time against our Alolan Ninetales. Here my opponent tries to catch. I'm gonna overfarm slightly once again, go for the charge move here, and then hopefully, well, we will see their final Pokemon. But they decide to come in with their Alolan Sandslash. So I'm gonna go and throw the Weather Ball, hoping to get this farm down afterwards. And if this is gonna get us a farm down, then we are in a very nice spot now. And what do they have in the back? It's gonna be a Gligar. This game is over. GG's to my opponent. And even though we were in a bad spot, we came all the way back from it. And good game. So, next game. So if you are still here, if you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Once again, meta team as we face up against a Lantern. We can easily go for the Mud Bombs here. Gonna go for it straight away, allowing my opponent, well, they could have caught here, but they didn't. And now we get this nice damage off. So, I can easily let this move go through, and as I went for it straight away in the first place, I'm now gonna overfarm here, expecting that my opponent might feel like they're gonna catch this move, and they actually come in with their LICKYTUNG. So I'm gonna go for a Mud Bomb almost straight away, and then afterwards I'm just gonna go into the mirror, as this is a very boring part of this game, but honestly this is the way you like to play. Soften this mid-game matchup up by going for one move, but afterwards this will allow us to basically secure this mid-game matchup, or my opponent has to go down some shields where they might have a chance of flipping this game or the mid-game matchup if I allow them to. But as you can see right now, we are in a driver spot of this mid-game matchup. We can just go for the body slam. We lose CMP, some nice information, doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna take a sip of water because I'm getting dry because this video is so long. We're gonna go for the body slam here, and now I'm gonna overfarm slightly. They actually decide to hard swap in, which is fine. I can take a serve here. I can even tank a Thunderbolt, I think. Gonna go for the Power Whip afterwards, and then hopefully we get the knockout, and if not, I'm gonna hard swap into that Mudboy. But they decide to let this move go through, which is fine. And what do they have in the back? It's gonna be a Gligar. GG's, there's nothing you can do. Sorry for that, not sorry, to be honest. So yeah, this is a bit of maybe probably also the Catch Cup, but honestly, well, Gligar obviously is going to be a very common pick by a lot of trainers, as it is the #1 Pokemon on the PvPoke website of the Great League. So in general, even though this is the Catch Cup, even though a lot of trainers probably caught this during this season, it is still going to be a Pokemon that you will see this next or this upcoming week for sure. So yeah, this team just works out very well. Gotta say it, I'm gonna say it again. Here they try to maybe, I don't know, catch a move. Also gonna go for the move, and we can easily well, shield up here and then leave with a Weather Ball or almost a Weather Ball loaded. There's nothing they can do, and they're gonna probably decide to top left, and that's gonna be a GG. Very well played. Alrighty, next game we face up against an ALOLAN Ninetales, well, not of ourselves but of our opponent. And the thing about this matchup is that we can go for a mud bomb. We will apply some nice and decent damage, but honestly, they will get to the double weather ball first, so they will play us into a CMP tie because we cannot well, outpace them here. So I'm gonna go for the extra, gonna take one move, and then afterwards I'm gonna under tap it here. Hopefully that my opponent goes for the powder snow, but they actually decide to go for the back to back. So I'm gonna shield here. I think my having alignment is going to be very nice for us, and now let's see what they will bring in after this. Aqua Tail is probably going to get the KO. It's not going to get the KO, but we will get the farm down anyways. Perfect farm down, and that's going to be very nice for us. They come in with a Mandibus, so as I said, Mandibus is okay for this team as long as it's not on the lead. Now we get the alignment, so that's going to be very advantageous for us. And also I'm just going to go and throw spam out these Aqua Tails. Threw in bad typing there because I was expecting them to go for the aerial ace straight away, hoping to CMP tie them there. Now I'm going to go for the Aqua Tails straight away once again, just spamming out these tails just to get this Mandibus as low as we can. And we will reach another one if they don't throw. And they're going to throw here, which is fine. We can actually, well, we're gonna let this move go through, obviously, coming with the ALOLAN Ninetales, and now we will overfarm as much as we dare, just to make sure that we get a lot of energy, so we can maybe fire that against their last Pokemon, which is going to be a QUAGSIRE. So I'm gonna instantly swap out, because this energy of my ALOLAN Ninetales, I want to throw that on the Mandibus, not on the QUAGSIRE, because we got the Power Whip, so that's a threat of where my opponent basically has to shield, because if that lands, that's just gonna straight KO them. So they have to be scared of that. So I'm gonna bait here, go for the body slam first, and I'm gonna go full body slam anyways, because I think with the lick damage they will be in a range where one weather ball is gonna be enough to get the KO. And as long as we preserve HP on our ALOLAN Ninetales, that's going to be just fine for us, as aerial ace is just not gonna do a lot of damage from a Mandibus. So as you can see, they're gonna go for the move here. I think they're in a range where with some powder snows and a weather ball, that's gonna be enough. They go for the Aqua Tail, and actually they're gonna come in with their own Mandibus. I'm gonna go, after I've thrown some powder snows, go for the weather ball here, and we get the knockout. And this is going to just free up the way for our ALOLAN Ninetales after some powder snows to go for yet another weather ball. We're almost at the back to back, so either they had to go, or they have to bait and then also have the Stone Age ready to get the dub. We can easily, well, let this move go through at this point, but I'm just gonna go for my shield anyways, to make sure that powder snow goes through. They have another move here. If that's gonna be the Stone Edge, that's gonna be fine, because we will lick them down afterwards, and that's going to be a very nice game. GG's, as it came down to 1 HP. So next game, we got a Gligar lead. So the way I like to play this in general is just to spam out one Aqua Tail and then dip afterwards. You can also maybe try to play this a bit differently by going for the Aqua Tail and then try to catch the Dick. But in general, I like to play it this way. I might try to catch it. I tried to catch the Dick here actually, but my opponent decided to well, swap at the same time, so a simultaneous swap. But this actually, well, kind of nice for us, as we win the zeros against the Medicham here. We can easily just spam out these body slams, unless they are running Dynamic Punch, but in general trainers are running Psychic right now. So that's going to be just fine. As you can see, they go for the Ice Punch, which is fine as well. And at this point, I don't really care about switch. As long as we get more energy than my opponent, I think this game is going to be ours. So as you can see, I'm going to go for another Body Slam, as we will reach after that Ice Punch. It's not going to be enough to get the KO. We will just easily, well, come in with that QUAGSIRE, go for the move straight away, hoping to get the knockout here. And now whatever is going to be in the back, well, it either needs to be a Victory Bell that just straight up destroys us, or as you can see, it's going to be a Lickytung, where now after we have thrown a couple of Mud Bombs, we will get them probably into a range where one Weather Ball is going to be enough, or almost going to be enough to get that knockout. And that Gligar, Gligar I should say, is just not going to appreciate any of those powder snows, right? Because it's going to be double super effective. So my opponent is going to go for the straight Power Whip, which is a good play by them, honestly. Here I went for the move straight away. Well, didn't register, or I was just a bit too late on my reaction. That's why they get the move through. Otherwise it would have been a CMP tie, which we would have won. So that's a bit of a misplay by me. Should have reacted a bit quicker, but still they basically cannot shield here. And after these powder snows, I can easily let this move go through. After these powder snows, they will add up, and one weather ball will be enough to get the knockout as well. I can also go for the dazzling gleam here, but it's a bit too risky, honestly, as they are in a range where, as I said before, one weather ball is just almost going to be enough to get the knockout. If they decided to shield here, I would have reached the dazzling gleam as anyways, and as you can see, that's going to be just enough to get the knockout. Alrighty, next game. We face a Skeledirge. So Skeledirge honestly is a Pokemon that does, well, not that well against our team. They say swap into a Hakomo, and honestly this game already feels like over, as we just have two very strong mons against their Pokemons. So it feels a bit like RPS, to be honest, and we can easily tank just a few moves here before we are gonna take them out. So we allow my opponent to get as minimal farm as they might, well, just to give them less farm than they would have gotten if we went for the weather ball straight away. So I've taken 2, maybe I could have taken 3. I don't think I could have taken 3, so this is probably one of the best ways to play this out. They will get 2 incinerates, but we get the gleam off, and gleam is going to do a lot of damage against my opponent. So this is gonna put them into a range where probably one Aqua Tail is gonna be, well, one Aqua Tail is gonna be enough to get the KO here, and I'm gonna go for it straight away because I still outpace them to the move here, which is very nice. I think, I'm not too sure anymore because I'm commentating. I don't always see the things as good as I would see them if I would just look at the battle only. But they got a Artibex in the back. It was a nice lure out for the Alolan Ninetales in their safe swap, but honestly, it just felt a bit like RPS, to be honest, because LICKYTUNG is just going to be outbulking them. We can easily take an avalanche here, but afterwards they will just run out of HP and also out of well, just out of HP, as we can easily tank a avalanche. We have to shield here, but we will outpace them to the double mud bomb or triple mud bomb or anything like that against the Skeledirge, but also against the Artibex, where they cannot just, well, they cannot take a mud bomb here. They actually decide to let the move go through. I'm gonna lick them all the way down. They will only get one incinerate through, and now we can easily farm them all the way down. We can let this move go through. I'm not gonna shield here because Shadow Ball is not gonna be enough, and they don't do any fast move damage with the incinerate. And at this point, I'm not gonna throw. I'm just gonna go and get the full farm down. Here I'm gonna shield because if they go for the Shadow Ball, they would have won, but they decide to go for yet another bait, and they won't reach another move as we farm them all the way down. GG's. Alrighty, next game. It's gonna be a long sit, but honestly, I went so I had a nice run today, so I felt like showcasing. So they safe swap into a Greedent. Greedent honestly is gonna be a Pokemon that's very tough for this team, especially as a safe swap, because LICKYTUNG doesn't really like it too much. So the way I like to play it is stay in a bit, go for a move, and then afterwards swap into my Alolan Ninetales, because yeah, Alolan Ninetales can take a move. Here I make a slight misplay in my opinion. I should have let this move go through first and then maybe shield it later, but I decided to shield up this move straight away, and I think it's okay anyways, because as you can see they will reach another move. So yeah, to preserve this alignment, I had to shield up anyways. Here I'm gonna go after I farmed a lot of energy for the move, and then afterwards I will have enough energy where I can probably reach a Dazzling Gleam, and a Dazzling Gleam, even though it's resisted, is gonna do a lot of damage. So in general your opponent likes to shield here, and now let's see if they decide to shield here as well. They decide to shield here as well, so I could have maybe went for a bait, but going for a bait there is just a bit too risky, even if they call the bait and then afterwards go for the move first before you reach, and then you've basically done no damage, and they have just gotten a lot of energy. So because they shielded, I will let this move go through. We will get to another move. They go for the Ice Punch, and they got a Jelly Sand in the back. So we got the perfect answer for it in LICKYTUNG here, where we can easily just well, we don't have to shoot anything. And even though we were in a kind of a bad spot after that safe swap of a Greedent, we still had the answers for it, and we played it out fair enough, or good enough I should say, where we will still get this dub as the LICKYTUNG. It's just a very hard answer against this Jelly Sand. We don't have to bait. If you bait and they call that bait, that's just a straight lose con for you. But in general, we can just reach double body or double Fine Whip, I should say, before they reach another serve, and you will have to commit that shield. As you can see, just before they reach another serve, we go for the Power Whip. This is going to be enough to get the knockout, and this is also going to be enough for us to, well, make sure that the timer is gone, and then we can hard swap back into that Quagsire, go for the double Mud Bomb or for the Aqua Tail afterwards. But we don't have to, as this few mud shots will be enough off as well to get the KO, and that's going to be another GG, very well played to my opponent. So GG's. And I think this is going to be the last battle of this video, as it is. This video took me so long to make, because I just kept on making mistakes and stuff like that. So if you're still here, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you're gonna run, or if you're gonna run this team for the Open Great League. As I said before, it's a very strong team, and this strategy as well is very decent. So I would highly recommend you try to use this team if you want to climb to Ace, Veteran, or maybe Legend as well. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And without further ado, this was the video, and I will see you trainers in the next one. Peace.